Alright, welcome to what might be the silliest qual guide yet. So I'm not sure what the track temperature is going to be. That's the issue. If the track temperature is hot like this is, 116 degrees, and I think it might be because of the time of day it's at, we're going to be doing this really wacky track guide. But if it's going to be a cooler track, then I think the top is just going to be better in 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4 maybe. So I'm thinking top bottom if it's like under 100 degrees, but this 116 degree track, which I think is going to be, I could be completely wrong because it's week 1 and they haven't set the sessions yet and all that. We're just going to do our best to guess what it is. And I have a really crazy line for you guys that might be good for you to know. So anyways, lead up to this, you're on the top of 3 and 4. You got to be really careful. The middle of this corner has no grip, so you just gotta have to ride that half throttle through the middle of the corner, even though it feels like you should be full throttle, and then you just go full throttle and exit. Just try to keep the car as under you as possible. If you slide your tires, it's gonna hurt your lap because 1, you lose momentum, 2, you heat up your tires and you have less grip for the subsequent corners. So for here, here is the line. So screw running the top, screw running the bottom. Let's go from the top to the bottom and then back to the top. I call this the dive bomb line because it is pretty wild. So I drive into the corner, try to get all the way to the bottom. I kind of miss it. Then I ride the brake just a little bit all the way up to the wall. And then once I get to the wall, I get back to full throttle. Why does this work? Well, because you can't really get back to the throttle very well on the top of Homestead when the track is this hot. So if you're not able to get to the full throttle very well at the top, well, you might as well just shortcut the track and then get back on the throttle almost like you would on the top. This is about a 1/10-ish faster than I was able to do running just a top line. And then 3 and 4, it works too. We drag the brake all the way up like halfway up the track, and then we need the throttle. So I about brake. So sorry, we'll go back to 1 and 2 first. I kind of got ahead of myself. So we'll brake from the white line up about halfway, and then throttle half from that halfway, and then just pray that it stays off the wall and rotates itself. That's about the best way I can put it. It's such a weird line. We half throttle to the white line, brake all the way up the track, or halfway, sorry, then half throttle, try to force the loose condition, and then just keep the car as steady as possible. Let's slow-mo this a little bit. So see right here, I'm really just trying to keep the car from getting loose. I'm just trying to keep it in a straight line, and that's where the speed is at. Okay, 3 and 4, same idea. Half throttle down the hill, half throttle. Once we get to the white line, we trail brake. We trail brake up the track about halfway and then throttle to about 70% to kick the rear tire out to stay off the wall. Then once we kick that rear tire out to the perfect position, we straighten out the wheel and just try to keep the car from spinning out. It's such a stupid line, man. But if this is a hot track like I think it's going to be, this will be the best qualifying line, which is weird. All right, let's take a look at the long run. All right, let's take a look at the long run. Oh, already loose. This car on cold tires is kind of a menace. You got to be careful on lap 1 for sure. So with this hot track temperature, you really start prioritizing just running this bottom, saving the both tires from 4-wheel sliding. It's going to really pay dividends, I promise you. So off a restart, you might want to consider running like more aggressive lines for like off the start for 1 lap maybe, but this line here is just going to be your bread and butter. I forgot to turn my brake bias down. I already felt it right there. What you really want to do is have your brake bias low, have it just get to the bottom with under braking and really early entries into here. Try to keep it all the way on the white line. Oh, man, this thing is wicked, I'll tell you. but you really want to avoid that slide. And what happens when you run those more aggressive lines, like even one lane up from this bottom line, the more aggressive lines really promote you sliding your rear tires. Here, I can just drive straight up the track on exit, and it kind of allows the tires to engage. So braking into the corner, really get on the white line, try to stick it down there. And I'll show you in about a lap or two here, the top is not even better than the bottom after like 2 laps. You really, once you survive the beginning, you just want to get to that bottom, roll the bottom, let the people burn off their stuff, trying to chase speed that isn't there up top. You don't want to do what I just did and slide your tire a little bit. I kind of was a little bit too overzealous on the throttle there. But this right rear tire and this combo is going to go crazy, and so you really got to preserve it. It's really different from everything I talk about in like the general right front tire saving tips, because when you're saving right rear, it's essentially just pushing for as much speed as you can without overstepping the bounds of that right rear tire. So if you find yourself sliding, if you hear your tires coming off the corner, if you snap loose and you have to really save it, that's when you know that you're kind of hurting that right rear tire, kind of like there. That was a little tiny bit of a slide. It was because I forced full throttle a little early. That's something you want to avoid. And it's really easy to say I'm going to push for speed and go throttle a little bit earlier, try to force a little bit with my wheel. But you see right there, see how I just drive smoothly off the corner. I lose maybe a couple hundredths from not forcing it early. Okay, take a look at this. So we're going to run the top here, make sure I don't slide up into the wall. Cheese and pizza car's so loose. That wasn't a very good representation of what this can do, but you can see that I probably had at least another 1/10 in that. So maybe 1/10 faster running the top and the bottom right now. But I mean, look at what I'm doing to the tires. Is it worth it? 3 and 4, you have to overslow the car so much because of that freaking no grip section in the middle. And I lost time there. So it's pretty interesting. The top, let's see how much better I do if I drive the top better. So goodbye the wall this time. I mean, the car wants to go down. It's really not that much better. But you can see that like the ceiling of the top, especially at the beginning of the run, is only about a 1/10 faster than the bottom. In the bottom, I'm just saving so much compared to here. You can see just how much my tires have to go through all the little moments I have to keep the car in one piece. Now we're going to go back to the bottom and see how this compares to what we just ran. So I'm actually just going to full save on the bottom, use the brake to pin it down here, just partial throttle to roll it, just keep it on the bottom, keep it on the bottom as long as I can, and full throttle off the corner. And you'll see definitely coming back. We'll see where we're at. So it's about 1/2. I'll call that 1/2 in 1 and 2. Brake in 3 and 4. 3 and 4 should be better on the bottom than 1 and 2 was. Yeah, I mean, the bottom of 3 and 4 is already the same exact speed as the top of 3 and 4, and the bottom of 1 and 2 is only a little bit worse than the top of 1 and 2. Think about 30, 40 laps into a run, what the difference is going to be. You're going to want to be on that bottom. You don't really want to mess around with the top until later in the run. Probably 20 laps, some people are going to push it. I personally don't even believe in that. I think you can run the bottom the whole race and be quote-unquote optimal. But if you want to defend some position, if you don't want to repass people later, totally understand going to the top after 20 laps. If you want to push some lines, maybe go second lane, a little more aggressive with like 5 laps to go, use up the tires that you have. I mean, 95, 94, we're using more right rear. And the top is going to use a lot more right rear than the bottom does, especially if you keep the car under you on the bottom. So just really look out for that right rear tire. No sliding, no nothing. All right. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope to see you all on the track.